Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Gaynor.
I'm off Aidan.
I'm Sophie.
And today we're doing about the Waco Siege. So I remember this clearly, but these guys don't. I think you've just started hearing about it, have you?
Yeah, a Netflix series came out, I think it was yesterday or like recently about it. So I watched half an episode last night, so I've got an idea.
Yeah.
Does it look good?
It's really interesting actually, yeah.
Depending on how interesting this is, I might watch the Netflix series.
Give it a
Yeah,
try.
so I think, is he called David Koresh or something like that?
David something, I can't remember his surname, but yeah. It was like a cult leader.
Yeah, cult leader, he had a lot of followers. So yeah, let's see what happened.
Let's have a look.
In 1993, Americans watched breathlessly as FBI agents faced off with a self-proclaimed religious prophet and his armed followers in Central Texas. This was the Waco Siege, a weeks-long standoff between the federal government and a religious group known as the Branch Davidians. Established by leader Victor Houtef, the Branch Davidians are a Christian sect, an offshoot of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, with a literal interpretation of the Bible's prophecies. Houtef and a group of his followers settled near Waco, Texas in 1935. Branch Davidians believe in the second coming of Jesus Christ and a day of judgment in which God will punish the wicked and reward the good. In preparation for Judgment Day, the Branch Davidians isolated themselves from the outside world in their commune near Waco. Confined to a 77-acre compound called the Mount Carmel Center, they established their own way of life. The group had gone through various divisions and changes in leadership before it was taken over by a charismatic Bible teacher named David Koresh in 1990. Koresh.
He just looks bad news, doesn't he?
He looks like a psychopath.
Looks like a serial killer.
I think it's the glasses as well don't help because they just remind me of Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, here you can't, but people with crazy eyes, I think, are people when you can see the white above the colour of their eye, they always seem to be a bit crazy.
Yeah, I think they did a study on that, and said like it's actually a thing where if you have like white above or below your eye, if you can see that, there's like a certain term for it. And it means you're more likely to be like a psychopath.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that why you've got white above your eyes?
No. No, I never trust anybody. There's been people in life that I don't trust.
Just like
that, you can see the white above their eyes, and I'm like,
Or just in general, do you think you can tell from someone's eyes how they are as a person?
Yeah. The eyes are the window to the soul.
Very true. And the other thing that stays the same, like throughout your life, like you're born with the same sized eyes as you'll have, like they don't grow, do they?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm
That's
sure
a very interesting fact.
When you're born, you have the same size eyes throughout your whole life. They don't grow.
Well,
I could be wrong.
I guess though, when you look at a babies,
have massive eyes.
They always have big eyes, don't they?
Yeah.
You had huge eyes as a baby.
Thanks.
Koresh was a self-proclaimed prophet and believed that he was appointed by God to bring about the end of the world. Unlike his predecessors, Koresh practiced polygamy, taking a number of underage followers as wives who bore his children.
Imagine.
He also collected guns and ammunition in preparation for the coming apocalypse. Word eventually reached federal authorities that the cult was illegally stockpiling weapons. February 28, 1993, agents from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms arrived at the Mount Carmel compound armed with search warrants for the property and an arrest warrant for Koresh. Gunfire erupted, although it's unclear which side started it. At the end of the 2-hour standoff, 4 ATF agents and 6 Branch Davidians.
There's no way the police or FBI would have started the shooting.
No, I don't think they would either. I think they would wait for them to...
Unless they felt threatened.
The thing is as well, this is what, 1993 did it say?
I think that's,
It looks like it's the 1970s. Look how old the cars look and the like, it just looks like really old.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is like 30 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but,
Oh my God, yeah.
To me, 1993 is not that long ago.
To me,
like you can remember it, like it's a memory.
Like it was like
yesterday.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
But when looking at the pictures, I was like, Jesus.
Were dead. The FBI intervened. Nearly 900 members of law enforcement descended on the compound, including Texas Rangers, Army personnel, and National Guardsmen. For weeks, FBI negotiators bargained with Koresh, bringing in supplies and allowing him to sermonize on the radio in a bid to get him to surrender. Though he allowed a number of Davidians to leave, Koresh displayed no signs of turning himself in. Agents then tried hardball tactics. They turned off the electricity, blasted loud music, and flashed harsh spotlights into the compound's windows. That didn't work either. After a
wonder where he gets these women from.
I think that if you grow up, because when did it say? Like the 1930s, it
1935.
started. So if you're born into that, that's all you know.
Yeah.
So you're like indoctrinated into that way of thinking.
Yeah.
So you don't. To you, it's not. It wouldn't be strange, would it?
Yeah, I watched a documentary on Scientology, and it fascinates me how people can have such a belief. How you can be so brainwashed by something.
Yeah.
You never know; they might be right.
Yeah, they could
Maybe
be.
we're the brainwashed ones.
Yeah.
Ooh.
51-day standoff, Attorney General Janet Reno gave the FBI the green light to raid Mount Carmel. On April 19th, 1993, tanks rolled in and punched holes in its walls and deposited nearly 400 canisters of tear gas inside the building.
What?
Several hours later, a fire broke out.
Wow.
This far out in the country without fire hydrants, you have to haul all of your water. It's just a very bad scenario here at this point.
Oh my gosh.
Winds fanned the flames and reduced the entire property to ash within an hour. Around 80 Branch Davidians died, including David Koresh and 25 children. While most died from fire and smoke inhalation, 2 members were found with fatal bullet wounds to the head. 4 federal agents were also killed during that siege. Several months later, a federal grand jury indicted 12 of the surviving Branch Davidians for unlawful possession of firearms and aiding the murder of federal officers. Many believe the government's actions were overly aggressive and maybe even illegal.
Even they look nutty as well.
Mm.
They've all got that real
Looking
crazy look about them.
I think they must be, to be honest.
Yeah, because it's a bit like if you ever see like photos of like the followers of like Manson, Charles Manson, like when they looked crazy. But then I feel like, is it because you know they are that it's like it just, I don't know, in your mind you're like, oh, they look crazy, but if you pass them on the street,
would you?
Yeah,
true.
it's interesting.
The raid drew sharp public criticism, and controversy swirled over whether or not federal agents started the fire and shot the Branch Davidians. At the center of the storm was Janet Reno, who issued the final order to raid the compound. In 1999, she appointed independent counsel John Danforth to investigate the incident. Danforth concluded that the agents were not responsible and placed the blame squarely on Koresh and his followers for setting the blaze and shooting themselves in order to fulfill their apocalyptic prophecy. The investigation failed to satisfy critics who, to this day, believe in conspiracy theories of a federal cover-up. For some right-wing extremist groups and patriot militias, Waco was further evidence of a government willing to use its power against its own people. One of these extremists was a 24-year-old disgruntled Army veteran named Timothy McVeigh. Radicalized by Waco, McVeigh would retaliate for what he saw as the injustices of the Waco Siege by bombing a federal building in Oklahoma City, exactly 2 years to the day of the siege at Mount Carmel.
Wow.
I remember Timothy McVeigh.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. So we should react to the Oklahoma bombing, because that was another one, but I didn't actually realise that. I remember when it happened, but I didn't actually realise that it was connected to this.
Yeah. Is it strange? Like 2 things have happened.
Yeah.
Like, because.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
it's pretty crazy, isn't it?
Sad.
I think
for
they
the
need that.
children as
They
well.
need to take down these compounds, because they just get bigger and bigger.
I don't
and
really
bigger.
understand cults, to be honest.
No, I don't. But these people that can be brainwashed into thinking that this is right, and the more and more people they get, the bigger,
more powerful it is.
Yeah, the more powerful it is, and it needs to be. It needs to be
It needs to be
quashed.
stopped before that happens. So.
I'd find it interesting as well when we watch it about how it's saying like with some of the members left were like walked out before
when they had a chance
and I wonder like the people that stayed, why did they stay? Was it because they were brainwashed, or were they forced to stay? I don't, especially with the children, you'd get the children out and then fight out between you.
And obviously if they're all living there, it's just going to be inbreeding, isn't it? It's just going to get worse and worse and crazier and crazier.
Sad.
Yep.
Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Cheers.